instead.
I know. I'm so sorry. I was like, why did I do that? But then I was like, I have to make sure I tell her because then I'll forget because my memory's terrible.
I know we just went live, but Nicole just told me she read one of my favorite series. To talk about this book, so now we're going, oh, but we gotta talk about this later. So I like how we just dropped you guys in here mid whatever was going on.
Mid conversation. We were talking for like 10 minutes before the live stream went live, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I read this book.
And she knows how much I love this series. So Jessica Sims, I love her paranormals, and so all of a sudden, right before, the live stream time, she tells me she started reading a series that I love. So now I gotta recompose myself.
Yes, I just finished. I just forgot the name of it, but
Beauty Dates Beast.
yes, okay. I was like, I just forgot the name of it. Beauty Dates the Beast. Yes. So, loved it. You should totally read it. Just saying. Hi, Krista.
Courtney's mommy.
Hi. I see you in the Cozy Mystery live stream. Hi.
You read romance novels?
That's awesome. Did you read today's? What we're talking about?
I know. I have the physical copy of the book today. I'm so proud of myself.
I love one of us will have the physical copy because usually I have a physical copy, but then you do today because I actually have the Kindle version. So I'm glad one of us has the physical copy.
I have both. I have both the ebook and the physical. Originally, I had just the ebook, and then I went, I want to take some pictures for Instagram, and I love Jill Shalvis. Like, she can do no wrong in my book. I love her. I love her. I love her. So basically, whatever she writes, I will buy. And I just figured, hey, I'm supporting Jill. I'm going to buy both.
Absolutely. She liked some of my tweets today, and I fangirled really hard.
She's following the Romantics at Heart Twitter.
That makes me so happy.
I didn't realize that at first because she's following me on Instagram, which like made my life complete. Yeah. Oh no, I'm like not even kidding because she has what 20-something thousand, 30,000 followers or something. She has this astronomical number, and she's following like 100-something accounts, and I'm like, I'm one of your accounts.
You're like me?
Like I feel so special, so I can die happy. Like, I mean, because Jill Shalvis followed me on Instagram, like that just made me complete.
That's awesome. I love that. We'll fangirl till like the end of time with that kind of stuff.
I mean, because she's just so sweet. I met her at RWA, and I mean, she was just such a sweetheart, and like I fangirled really hard when I met her, and she was so sweet about it. Because again, I think a better version of me because I get very quiet in crowds and stuff, and so here's Jill Shalvis, who I idolize. I love her writing. I'm going, hi, and I'm all awkward and nervous, and she gives me a hug. She signs the book like really sweetly. I mean, she just made me so happy. So just all the love in the world to her.
That's awesome. I love that though.
Oh yeah, no. Like when you put a little anxious fangirl at ease and still, take a picture for her Instagram, it just makes me happy. So I was happy that her book won. I was like, we get to support Jill tonight.
I know. I haven't read her in a very long time, and I was like, why did I fall off the Jill bandwagon? But what a book to get me back on. I mean, I really enjoyed this book.
I know. I think I went through. As soon as I was done with this book, I went on to Goodreads and I went to be read, want to read for the rest of the books in the series.
I did too.
And the part that's kind of getting me was I thought this was going to be maybe a 3-book series because I thought I had read pretty much everything from her. And then there's 12 books in the series. First of all, how there are 12 people in this town because we didn't meet 12 people other than our characters. I thought it was just going to be the sisters and then his group of friends with the sisters. All of a sudden, there's, 9 more books in there.
I love that. I love it. Hello, Lady Gizmo. I can't remember if we said hello, but hello. Thank you for joining us. So for those of you watching, we have 7 watching. Hi. Who has read the book? Who read the book? Who loved it? Star ratings?
Have you read any of Jill? Are you fans? Clearly, I love her, and I'm just going to be like fangirling tonight.
You're like, read all the Jills. Yes.
If she puts her name on something, even if it's a quote for another book, go buy it.
I know. That's usually how I get to know like other authors. Like if like authors that I know, if they have blurbs on those books, I'm just like, oh, they love it.
Oh no, I mean, so you mentioned you really enjoyed this book.
I did. I really, really liked it. I felt like the whole time I was reading it, I was just laughing out loud. I mean, yes, there were some serious parts. Obviously, Maddie and her previous relationship, that's a very serious, triggering topic. And there are some moments of seriousness between her and her main squeeze. So, but like just the wit in this book, I tell you, the sisters were a hoot and a half. I love them so much.
We really do share one brain, because that was actually one of my post-it notes for the night, was talking about how she, again, I think she's just such a master of her craft.
Yeah.
Because I was laughing and I was having a good time, but she didn't treat those moments with levity. So, spoiler alert, Maddie, like, we're going to be talking about spoilers tonight. So Maddie was in an abusive relationship. Her former boyfriend, he slapped her, and she was really specific, saying he slapped her, he didn't hit her, because she thought being slapped was more humiliating. And it was just, you know, it really touches your heart. You want to cry for her. But so she was able to have these moments in the book. You were able to feel the sympathy, the empathy. You just, you know, your heart went out to Maddie. But then at the same time, she could then make you smile and laugh. And it showed the emotional range of her writing. I mean, even when they had those hard moments, you were then able to laugh pages later, but it didn't take away from those moments. It was just such a fine balance, but she did it so, so well. I mean,
yeah, I'm agreeing 100. Everything she's saying, I'm just over here nodding and yes, I absolutely very much agree, because it seems like this book had it all. I mean, it did have the seriousness of, you know, the topic. It did have, you know, those lighthearted moments. It's the family aspect as well, with these sisters coming together. And it was a really sweet, heartwarming book. And I just felt good reading it. Hi, April. Hi. She did read it. I love it. And then Lady Gizmo.
I saw her picture. It is the cutest pictures of her with her cat. You can see her, I think the engagement ring, the wedding ring, and it's kind of draped, and you see the little cute little face.
Oh, and then Lady Gizmo says she didn't read it, but she's here to support. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. Hopefully you don't mind about spoilers, because, you know, we do talk a lot about the book, and we're going to spoil.
I mean, it's just, again, even if you haven't read this book, I think you will enjoy it if you do pick it up, because they're the one-liners. It's got a witty little pace to it. You're going to want to read the next one in the series. So even if you do hear some spoilers, I don't think it should take away from the reading of this book. Clearly, I'm pitching this hard.
Yeah, I loved it. Wow. I just want to read like everything of her now. It's like I said, I read her a while ago, and then I don't know what happened. It was kind of like, you know, you have other things you want to read, and then things fall off the bandwagon, or things, you know, you drop things and you don't pick them up. And like I said, what a great book just to start back on the Jill train. So that's what we're going to call it, the Jill train. So I really, really, really enjoyed this book.
I think I kind of read it at the right moment too. I had read a book, and I'm not going to say it because I didn't even take credit for it over on Goodreads. I didn't enjoy it. And then I picked this up, then I grabbed this the next day, and I love it. It was making me smile. I was having that, you know, that emotional range that I just wanted. I just picked it up, and I was going, this is the book I wanted to read. This is the book I should have read before. This is the book. And so it kind of put me back in a nice headspace. You know, it was one of those, this was one of those great balances for me. I mean, yes, it had the romantic elements, but it was also like a little bit more than Hallmark. It was just, I love her. Love it. I mean, we had the levity with the, you know, the sisters. Oh my gosh, those one-liners. She's drunk dialing contractors. They're making like a boyfriend tree on this dead Charlie Brown Christmas tree. You got the one sister who's making face masks that just went awry, and she was like accidentally bleaching their hair. I mean, it was just, you're nodding, you're laughing. I love it.
I'm like laughing so hard. Oh my gosh. And those little like blurbs from like Phoebe, their mom, like at the beginning of the chapters, like some of those were like hilarious. And then some of them were like, true. I'm like, some of them are like, preach, girl, because that is 100%. I love those little quotes that were at the beginning of the chapters, kind of just set the mood for what the chapter was going to bring you. So I like that.
I loved the introductory quotes, because to me, I thought it was really kind of a sweet touch, because we have the three sisters. We have Maddie, Tara, and Chloe. And Maddie has not really been in the same, I don't want to say circle almost, but the other two, Tara and Chloe, grew up a little bit closer than Maddie. So she was kind of the odd duck out. And so their mother was the only real common denominator between them. And it was kind of nice to have the mother in the book in that way, because otherwise it would be more of in passing. But it was kind of nice to say, oh, she's the reason why all of these women are together in this inn. So I kind of liked that she was introductory quote for each chapter. I thought it kind of tied her into the book in a sweet way that we wouldn't have gotten otherwise.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Lady Gizmo is saying spoil away. I'll pretend I'm listening to the audio version. That's so funny. April, Chloe and her skincare line. Yeah, seriously. She's just trying all these things on her sisters. And I just love how they just kind of like indulge her a little bit. I mean, like
yoga. I loved it. And Chloe made her other two sisters take up yoga. And then when Chloe left for a couple weeks, she kind of was going to give them a couple days because she was going to go back to her life. Then she decided to come back. Again, spoilers. So she comes back, but they're still doing yoga because they're going, oh, well, we'll do this in memory of Chloe because Chloe's the one who made us take up yoga in the first place. I mean,
yeah, they stuck with it even after she left. I love that.
I mean, but it's true though. Like I mean, Maddie had no interest in yoga except for being with her sisters. And so that's what I mean. Like the indulgence was just so cute and handled so well. I love that. My little heart smelting over here.
Yeah. And I just love that, you know, they didn't like you were saying, like the two sisters, Tara and Chloe, they kind of grew up closer. And then Maddie was kind of, I don't want to say on the back burner, but she grew up with her dad, you know, so it was kind of, she was out of the picture and she didn't let that resentment kind of fuel their like separation. So there were a couple times where she was like, when Chloe and Tara were talking about something and she was like, oh, how come I didn't get invited to Easter? Remember that one where, you know, they invited her, Tara invited Chloe to Easter and she's like, well, why didn't I get invited? And then she's like, oh, I didn't know that about mom. You know, there's just little nuances where you kind of get an inside to Maddie where, you know, she didn't have that the other sisters had, but she didn't let that block her from having a further relationship with her, with them, because, you know, she was kind of learning, like, you know, from her mom's passing that, you know, time is, you know, precious. It's, you know, you have to make the family and love your family, you know, while you can. So I really love that message as well. So, and they're just so funny together. Oh, Chloe, she was, I mean, just like there were some points where Tara kind of got on my nerves a little bit, especially with the secret, and Jax and her were like having trouble because of the secret that was kept. And I'm just like, girl, you better tell her. Don't you mess up this relationship for me.
Well, I have to admit, so I appreciate it. There were some moments when I really enjoyed Tara, you know, when Maddie made her the scarf. It was so cute. Maddie wanted to give her sister something, so she was making them scarves, and they were wearing them even though they were terrible. She was knitting scarves. She didn't know how to knit, but she was knitting scarves, even though she was terrible at it. But they wore them anyway because it was her. And Tara, this little mischievous girl, she kept trying to say, and you know, to Maddie, going, "Oh, well, you're not ready for a relationship. Don't go out with him." And it was more about self-preservation than it was about Maddie. And so you're going, "Okay, I see how this is." Once you know everything, and she says, "I'm sorry, I tried to interfere with the relationship." And going, "Why? Yes, you did." I was holding reader, like finger wagging, like, "Yes, you did. You interrupted."
Yeah, seriously. Like you can see that Maddie was kind of breaking out of her shell because she had become this person that she didn't recognize anymore from her previous relationships. You know, she even said, there's this quote in the book that said she knew she wasn't going to change her ex, so she changed to fit him, and she became this person she didn't recognize, kind of like, quote unquote, the mouse. Everyone called her the mouse, and kind of just let him take the lead and never really asked questions. And she kind of assumed that role even when they weren't together anymore. And she came back to town, and there were certain times where she kind of let everyone walk all over her, but then she would remind herself, she's like, no, I'm not sorry. This isn't my fault. I'm going to speak my mind and not be walked on. And I just love Jax, how he was just like, I'm proud of you. And like those moments where she did stand up for herself, and just the character growth for her one character was just amazing.
Oh no, I think the characterization was kind of spot on for all three sisters. And so I think this is really funny in a way. I mean, it's not funny, haha, but it's one of those clever little writing elements is that we have the steel magnolia, the wild child, and the mouse. And I think those are the molds they have to break out of. So that's what's been attributed to them up until this point. And now that they have those molds, now it's time for them to move past that in their stories. So I can kind of see the next one being, I'm not a steel magnolia. And the one after that, you know, for Chloe being like, I'm not a wild child, and moving on. So it's almost as if this is where you kind of have a starting point for them in a way, because they've been molded. That's how people view them. And now they're moving on. They're going to grow from there. And so I just thought that was a really clever kind of inclusion. And I also feel badly, like being called a mouse, that's not nice.
I know.
I mean, her mom's calling her a mouse, and I'm going, my heart was kind of going, the poor little thing. She has enough problems. We don't need to give her a bad nickname on top of that.
Right. And it really did affect her, you know, self-esteem, and just her breaking out of that, finding her own self-worth as well, because, and that's just, you know, finding the worth in yourself, you know, not, you know, just listening to the labels and everything that, you know, this small town or your ex or whoever, you know. And she even said, like, there was sometimes she'd hear her ex in her mind saying, you know, negative things. And she's like, no, I'm not going to listen. I'm like, yes, girl, you're not going to listen.
So I related to her in this moment, or I even remember the character's name was Mr. Jenkins. He was very rude to her. He called her an idiot, and he wanted to take the boat out on the water, and she let him walk over her. And then as soon as he left and she started talking to the boyfriend, you know, she realizes, I shouldn't have let him get away with that. And then she gives him a piece of her mind, and, you know, she calls him out for it, saying, you shouldn't have said this, and, you know, I shouldn't have let you walk over me in the first place. And I'm going, yes, girl, you tell him. Because, I mean, I don't do that myself. I'm very, you know, I'm not confrontational whatsoever. And so I was proud of her going, yeah, you tell him. you be the strong, independent woman that you want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to, you know, stand up for yourself, and especially with confrontation, and especially to a man, like a woman being, you know, confronted with a man in that situation. And the fact that she did have that, even though, yeah, she kind of had to, it was like the next day, or Jax was like, well, you have to wait a couple hours because he's out on the water. And so, like, unless you're going to swim to.
She was like ready to go march off and find him. He's like, well, unless you want to go run a boat and catch up to him, good luck there.
Yeah, but it's, you know, especially like you said, with that confrontation, it can be very nerve-wracking, you know, and it's, yeah. Even Jax was saying, like, I'm proud of her, you know, and April's saying, I was happy when we finally discovered Tara wasn't as perfect as she seemed to be. Yes, she seemed to be, you know, she was the sister who had her life together, had this, you know, quote unquote, perfect marriage, perfect job. And she wanted to just sell the inn, not worry about it, and just get back to her perfect life. And we find out that that whole thing, spoiler alert, was a lie. And, you know, she had divorced her husband. She didn't like her job. She ended up cooking at the little cafe that was in town there because the chef quit, and they were in there eating and they were swamped. And then Tara finally just marches back there and starts cooking it because she has a love of cooking and she's really, really good at it. And so I love how you see, even in this book, I know her book isn't until, her book is the book 2, but you see growth in Tara as well, which really made me happy because there, you know, like I said, there were some times where she was kind of a little bit, I was getting angry with her just because when her lies were affecting Jax and Maddie's relationship, I finally, I had had enough. I'm like, girl, just tell him.
In a precarious situation. It was one of those, she put him in a situation he didn't really need to be in.
Yes.
One of those who, you know, where does the loyalty lie kind of situation. So she made it difficult. She was that conflict. And I just, when it came to her, she had a couple one-liners because she was the older sister, where she was saying to the youngest one, oh, you're not legally allowed to drink. And Chloe's going, I'm 3 years over, meaning she's 24 years old. So, you know, why are you picking on me? I can drink wine. But she was saying, oh, you're too young. And she'd make kind of comments trying to like put her in her place in a way. And so we're going, oh, is this, what's going on here? Are you overstepping? Is this really how you feel? I mean, you kind of it didn't go on for too long, but she would have these moments of, you know, inserting herself into situations that didn't really require her, or she would, you know, do that pontification of, oh, this is what I think.
Right. April is saying, like, how cute are the recipes in this book. At the end of the book, I kind of flipped to the back and I saw the, like, it was like a tutorial on how to make the scarf. And I just
That was
thought,
my favorite. I was laughing so hard. It was my favorite line of like, only your beloved will appreciate when you interpret the new like threads. I was laughing so hard. I think I reread that 5 or 6 times.
I know. I was like, oh, you're just teaching us how to make a scarf. Oh, that was so funny. And then she did, like, there were some points in the book where she's just like, she's knitting just to get her mind off of, you know, the conflict, either whether it would be her sisters or the troubles of the inn. And she was just like, okay, she was just telling herself like how to knit, and she was doing it. And she was like,
so
this one, I know. I was like, she's like, this one's a little crooked, but then she would just take, like, she'd be wearing it, and then she'd just take it off herself and put it on Jax or put it on Tara. And, you know, I was like, these are your scars. And then even Tara, one time to Jax, was like, she's making you one. It's hideous.
I knew I liked Jax as a hero when he was watching her with her sisters, and you could see the different personalities and the different representations of them. You had Tara, who was glaring at, you know, a whole other story there we won't get into, because that's book 2. I did look it up, and I do know all that because I was
You spoiled yourself.
So she was giving her little dirty looks to you know, a certain somebody, and then you have the other sister who's, you know, I am the bus boy, and then you get, you know, Maddie sitting there knitting, and you could see her, and he saw her talking to herself, talking her through the stitches, and he's just watching her, and he's just mesmerized by her, and his friends are going, oh, you got it bad, and they're calling
got it bad.
But I mean, he's watching her knit. I mean, how cute is? I mean,
no
moment. I mean, he's not watching. I mean, we've seen the movies where, oh, she's nice to the child, and therefore, you know, he thinks she's maternal, or oh, she's nice to the dog. I mean, we've had all these cliche moments. I've never had it be like, oh, he's watching her knit. That is so attractive to me. I've never seen that anywhere else except this book.
He just thought she was so adorable, and I just loved it.
I mean, seriously though, like, that's a legit question. Have you ever seen another hero going, you know, be mesmerized by the heroine when she's knitting?
Never.
I mean, I feel as if they're those cliches we see all the time. This just totally broke that in half.
Yeah. Seriously, I'm just like, oh, he's like watching her knit. And there was just sometimes, and I just love the moments when I loved Jax as a hero was that he obviously figures out that she has had some trauma, you know, with her past relationships, and she was abused. And there were times where he was very, very aware of that. And there's this one scene in particular where, you know, they were kissing, and he was bringing his hands up to her face, and she flinches, like, you know, and, you know, he stops, you know, automatically he stops, which is, you know, what I like, number one. But also what I like, number one, because consent is sexy. But there was, you know, he took that cue. He's like, okay, you know, I don't want to push her away. And so from then on out, when he wanted to cup her face or touch her face, he would be slow. And there was one time where he like walked up her arm, like, and like was very slow, and it's like giving her plenty of time to know his intention and to, you know, back off if she didn't want that. And I just thought that right there is, you know, taking your partner's fears and, you know, saying like, you are safe with me. I'm never going to hurt you. And I just thought that was I fell in love with him at that moment. I was like, you are, yes, 100% yes.
I mean, he realized the first night he met her that something was going on. Like, he knew from the get-go. And he was so sweet about that. You hit the nail right on the head. I love that moment. I was going, you're perfect together. I was so invested.
You're so perfect.
I mean, but he was so aware, and we got details into her and into his own, you know, his own kind of mentality as well, because Maddie had very long curly hair, but she had bangs to cover a scar right on her eye, because the boyfriend at one point had pushed her into a cabinet in the office and she needed stitches. So she had a scar. So she was very self-conscious. And so she kind of wore her hair draped over it on her face. And he kind of realized when he met her, going, why, you know, what's going on there? He could kind of tell something was amiss. And so he saw the scar and he knew, and kind of was able to recognize, okay, this is something. And he never actually asked her directly. She brought it up, but he waited until she was ready to divulge that story. He never put her on the spot and asked her. He never, you know, said, you know, what's going on. But he kind of saw and then took his lead from her, and I'm going, I appreciate that so much.
Yeah.
He wasn't like, tell me, you know, he didn't, you know, because people put you on the spot and they'll ask you questions you're not ready for. I get the element of like pushing her before she was ready. He waited for her to tell her the story, like to tell him the story.
Yeah, there, you know, there was even that one thing, you know, she said like she was surprised that he hadn't asked yet. And he said, you know, I figured you would tell me when you were ready. And I was like, you're so sweet.
Heart melting to the floor.
Oh, he was just, he was so good. Like just so aware of her needs, and he executed everything like so great. I mean, yes, they had conflict, but the things that he could control, like obviously the secret wasn't his secret to tell. He held that back. The things that he could control and his part in the relationship, he was just so on point, and I loved it. And like every time they had like a sexual encounter, he would say yes or no, Maddie, and he waited for her to say yes or no, and I just like, yes, consent is sexy.
So I loved their meet cute in this book. So Maddie she calls herself a crazy LA driver. She almost runs him off the road on his motorcycle, and then that same evening she then knocks over his bike. But my favorite is that she's eating potato chips in the car, and he picks off like potato chips on her. He's going like, what are these regular? She's like, salt and vinegar. And he tells him the flavor, and then she pretends to get a phone call, and then her phone rings that she's on the fake phone call, and he's like, I think you have a real call now. I mean, their meet cute is just off the charts, hysterical and adorable, and like made me laugh. I was just having the best time reading their meet cute. Like from like the instant that these two characters meet, you're going, I love your story. I want to see you guys together.
I'm just dying laughing over here. I'm trying not to laugh too loud because then the screen will go back to me. Like, but I want you to keep talking. But yeah, I love that scene so much.
You made my life today. This one over here, if you guys are not following her on Twitter, you need to like go onto her Twitter account ASAP. This one over here, I was dying. Like I was crying. I was laughing so hard. She's post a picture of a bag of salt and vinegar potato chips, and I just lost it. I was like, yes, girl.
I was like, my snack today while I'm reading Simply Irresistible. And I'm like, only if you read the book you would know. Like, yeah, she loves salt and vinegar chips. And I was like, I do too. They're my favorite chip. I'm like, girl.
I was laughing so hard when I saw that because I lost it. When I saw that tweet, I'm going, retweet, like, I went on another account, retweet, like, I just had that everywhere. Like, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's like, and that's how they meet. I was dying. I was laughing so hard. And there's the motorcycle parked in front of the bar. She's backing up, trying to see the sign of like what it's called. She falls off, like it's like a patio or something. Like she trips, knocks over the motorcycle, and he just happens to come out because he's kicking someone out of the bar. And he's like, what do you have it? Like, do you have it in for my bike? I'm like, I was dying laughing.
Again, this is what I mean. Like, you know, she was able to interweave the elements where like you are having your emotions tugged on, but then the levity, I was laughing so hard. And it like they had chemistry during this too. And she, again, this is why I loved him. She thought he was gonna be angry, yelling, snapping, and he was just this laid back, understanding guy. And I'm going, thank you for, you know, not making this injured, hurt woman feel worse about herself. Thank you for having this disposition. I was going, you're perfect together.
Exactly, because honestly, like when you just put yourself in like in his shoes, like if you're almost run off the road, obviously adrenaline's going and you're, you know, justifiably angry. If someone like knocks over your motorcycle, there's damage, you know, you would be justifiably angry, but he just kind of takes it in stride, and he, you know, just from the get-go, he was just like the perfect kind of temperament for her. I mean, yeah, we find out later that he does have some kind of temper, but he just does get withdrawn and quiet, which kind of reminded her of her ex, because he did that whenever he got really upset. He would, you know, withdraw and then just explode. So, you know, during those times, she was just waiting for the explosion, but, you know, it never happened. And so I just thought, you know, that being the opening scene of the book and that being so hilarious. And I'm like, if this is how the rest of the book is going to be, this is amazing.
So I had this moment where I realized she could have had the same meet cute with the other guy when she went to go to the supply store. She was picking up paint and she knocked over all the paint, and this other guy asked her out. And so she was having her clumsy moment, and then another cute guy was coming to her rescue. But he was jealous. Then he tried to set that guy up with somebody else to make sure she was still available. I mean, he never withheld affection from her either. Even when he did get angry and stuff, he was always there for her. I loved him as a hero for this. Like, Jill knows what she's doing.
I know. She knows how to write the heroes. Like, he was fantastic. Hi, Trish.
I was Jinx.
Jinx. You'll be a Coke.
Am I allowed to talk, or are there Jinx rules? There are rules to Jinx, right?
Oh, well, you said Jinx first, so I'm not allowed to talk, so go ahead.
Oh, you can talk as much as you want. I love you. I love your voice. I love your face.
I love you, too.
We love you, Trish.
We love you, Trish. Hi. We're all like, Trish!
I know, I'm going to say hello to Trish first.
I love how we're seeing, like, some of the Cozy Mystery Gang over here.
I know. Are y'all reading romance novels now? Are you fans of Jill? I mean, clearly we're fangirling over here. We love her.
We love it. Trish, did you read the book? Just wondering.
Because we were spoiling over here.
Because we're spoiling. But I'm so glad to see you. Hi.
I know. I need to get used to her new profile picture. And I love it. She looks so pretty in it.
I know.
I know.
You are so cute. We're cute. Yay. Thanks.
You're the cute one.
You're so cute. But so yeah, we're just
our best friends. It was so funny. Because I sent out my very first newsletter today, and so she retweeted the link, and so she's like, my best friend started this, and so I was like, I called you my best friend in the newsletter.
I was like, this is my best friend. She did this.
And I told the world you're my best friend too. It was just, yeah. I love her.
Trish is saying she's still waiting for mine to come in, but I love Jill. Oh, that's awesome. I think you'll really, really like it.
So if you guys have read the book or you've read Jill, is there something about her writing that you enjoy? Is there a character or a story that just sticks out to you? If you read this book, what did you love about it? So please comment away. Please, please, please. That's clearly, I'm going to keep talking about Jill.
we can talk, but, we like to hear, we liked it in the comments as well. We love to, engage with you guys in the comments. So, yes.
I know. We need to see, now we're going to have to buddy read the next, 11 books in the series.
12. I'm like, how many books in the series? 12?
I think that's excluding the novellas, though.
Yeah, it is. There are even novellas, so.
Well, clearly people don't want to leave Lucky Chance Harbor. They just want to stay here. And the thing is, can I just... I need to say this. So I think Jax is like a one-man show. This guy, he is the master carpenter. He is the mayor. He co-owns the bar. He also helps fund several businesses. This is Jax's town. This is Jacksonville. This is just Jax's town. And I thought that was hysterical. I was just waiting for him to pop up everywhere because he's bartending. He's fixing he's over there doing construction. This guy was a one-man show. It was just. I thought that was hysterical. I'm going, this guy can just do it all. And he's going to
Seriously, he was all that in a bag of salt and vinegar chips. I mean, when, she pulled up, the contractor. Sorry, I broke Angela.
I think you to say that. That was amazing. So we just make that, a t-shirt. He's all that in a bag of salt and vinegar chips.
Oh, but when she was looking up those carpenters, when she was drunk dialing contractors under the Christmas tree, and it was JC Builders, I was like, I did tweet this. I was like, I wonder who could own that. So,
well, I loved how she found that he was a I really am writing this down. I don't want to forget you said that. I loved how she saw on his ad, it said master carpenter. She's like, we need your mastery. Can you be a master? We need your mastery. And she kept saying the word master. And the sisters are going, we get it. He's a master. Stop saying that. And she's going, we need your mastery skills. If we don't hear back from you, that's okay. But can you be here first thing tomorrow?
I know.
I love
so
it.
funny.
Because He goes to his voice he didn't realize he had a voice message, and he's going, "This is Maddie. This is the girl I kissed last night, and she just drunk called me."
And then like he shows up, and I even tweeted this quote, you know, like he shows up and she was like saying how sexy he looked, and he was all big and bad and not hungover, and she did the first thing that came to her head. She like slammed the door in his face. I'm like,
I put that on my Instagram. Like I took a picture of that like entire scene and posted it, put a giant heart on it, because she literally slams the door in this guy's face, and the two sisters are standing there going, "Huh? What just happened?
Why did you do that?"
And then she's looking at them like, "This is the guy I kissed." And then she thinks he's there because he wants a second shot. And so she starts going into her little spiel of, "Oh, I don't want a relationship." He's like, "Well, actually, you called me. I'm the carpenter," after her whole big, monologue of how she's not ready to date and everything else. He's like, "Well, actually, I'm not here for you in that capacity. I'm here as your master builder."
That was so funny.
I was like, she knows how to do her comedy over here. And you and your bag of chips. I'm like, I made that a person. I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet, but I'm not forgetting to say that.
Oh, I'm glad I can make you laugh.
You do.
Trish is saying one a month. We can read one book a month easy. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I feel like we're going to binge read these books. Like, you just want to read one right after another because they're just so much fun.
Yeah. I think we could probably do like one a week, one every other day.
Like this month.
We'll finish it by the end of the year. April saying it was her first Jill book. Definitely want to keep reading the series. I do too. It was very, very cute.
I know, it just made me happy. Even though it had those moments, she was dealing with an abusive ex and she was overcoming, and they did have a fire in the end, and they did have to worry about finances. And even though there were all these conflicts, I still had the best time reading this book. And I mean, I never, there's some books that go really dark. And even though this one had the, elements that were kind of harder to deal with, you still had the ability to keep reading. I never wanted to put this book down. I mean, sometimes you'll read a book, you'll get to a sentence or a part, and you're like, "Oh wow, I need to go make a cup of tea or something." This one, I just read this one today.
Yeah, I read. I started it yesterday, but then I knew I was going to have kind of a light day at work today, and so I just read most of it. The Kindle said I had read up to 37%, and then I read the rest today. It was so fast moving. There really was never a dull moment in this book, and I loved it. I can't say enough great things about it.
I mean, it was just so witty. I mean, I was just pulling up, even when she was mad at him, the friends and the family kind of conspired to get them together, because you got to kiss the mayor if you guessed the correct number of shrimp that they gathered. And so Maddie wins, except she didn't enter any numbers. And so they go, how many tickets in my name did you enter? And so the sister Chloe says 50. And then me too, Ford called out. So basically there were 100 guesses in there that she had nothing to do with. And then, they grinned, and then 100 for me. So I guess it's a good cause. So they were like, we need to get these two together.
The whole town shipped it. I was so on board. I was like, yes. If I was a member of that town, I'd be like, yes. Every single guess.
That was so funny the way, because then there was Lucille, who apparently input 100 of her own.
Yeah, she's like, I put 100 in. I love how she was whispering in his ear, it could have been Lucille. I was dying laughing.
But it was so cute, though. I mean, that's what I mean. It just kind of fed into the narrative. Even when they got angry, we had this moment of, okay, we're going to make you laugh, and we're going to reconcile and move forward. And then something else would happen, and something funny, and then they would reconcile and move forward.
Yeah, but I liked that, when they were fighting and she needed space, he gave her that space. I mean, he was around because he was the contractor renovating her in, but, he listened to her. He gave her the space, waited for her to, to come around, saying oh, I was kind of overreacting, or, I'm scared. I know it's not fair of me to compare him to my ex. And so he never pushed her past her, that line there of what she was comfortable doing, because it was, kind of not that long ago where she got out of this very abusive relationship. So the fact that she took that step as soon as she did just shows that, how trustworthy that Jax, really was in handling this situation. And I really love that about Jax.
I like that. I found one of my favorite. This was one of my favorite quotes from the book. So she goes to him and said, "Well," she said, "out of all the people I'm mad at, I think I'm least mad at you." Even when she's mad at him, she still wants to be around him, and she still went to his house, and they were still able to like be with one another. And I thought that was just really indicative of, you know, caring about the other human being. You know, even when she yes, there were times she wanted her space, but even then, there were moments where even when she was angry, she's going, "No, I still want to be around you."
Yeah.
It was so sweet. I just love that line. She's like, "Well, I'm least mad at you." She's like, "I can choose you. I can still be around you, even though I feel this way." So I just thought, I mean, again, there's like this emotional range to it where you're saying, yeah, she wanted space. And sometimes even when she didn't want space, he was still there for her. Like, no matter what she wanted, he was there for her.
Right. Yes. And I was like really surprised, like shocked when the cottage and the inn caught on fire. I was like, holy, what is happening? You know, and so really worried about Chloe because she had really bad asthma with the smoke inhalation. And I love that when his Sawyer, his friend, you know, he's a police officer. And so he immediately called him and, you know, was like, "Do you have Maddie?" And it's like, "No, she's at the inn," you know? And so he like books it there, you know, and, you know, he's looking at, you know, the cabin and the ruins, and he's just so worried about her. And then, you know, as soon as he lays eyes on her, like they were fighting in the middle of this, you know, and so as soon as he lays eyes on her, their fight is immediately forgotten, and he just, you know, is so worried about her. And I thought that was really sweet and melted my heart.
I printed that out because I agree with you entirely. I loved, so cuddled there, wrapped in a blanket, face dark with soot, sat Maddie. He took his first breath since Sawyer had called him. And he sits in front of her, like he crouches in front of her. He's on his hand, like he puts his hands on her legs, and so like she's shaking, he's shaking, but he's there. And then he wraps the blanket around her, but he wants to make sure she's okay. I mean, it's just, oh, your heart just, oh, it just melts.
Melts.
I love that line though. He took his first breath since Sawyer had called him. I'm going, oh, because he was so nervous and he saw the ambulance. And so as the reader, again, we don't know who's in the ambulance either, you know.
Right, yeah.
His point of view. This is his point. And so he was just, you know, yes, I didn't want anything to happen to Chloe, but there's a moment of, okay, that makes more sense because the asthma, she wasn't actually seriously injured beyond repair or something like that. She wasn't, it was more the inhalation that was bothering her, and it was just a one-night stay just to make sure she was okay. But you had that moment of, oh my God, you know, what's going on? And he was, you know, there were those anxious moments, and you just, again, they were fighting, but it was one of those, okay, this is more important than our fight.
Right, correct. Your safety is more important than our fight. Yes, I love that.
Again, I just love Jax. And I loved him. I loved him. He was a great hero.
He was. And like just with the name Jax, I don't know if you guys watch Sons of Anarchy, but I just
say that as soon as you started that, I was going, she's going to talk about what's his name, the guy who was supposed to be Christian Grey and wasn't.
I just think of like Jax Teller, even though, but you know, I was like, oh, okay.
Motorcycle. He's got the tattoos. He's got the motorcycle. You know, technically he's like the king of the town. Still similar.
He's a little bit more of a hero than Jax Teller. Jax Teller was like an anti-hero, but
I know the whole thing. I mean, the only reason I think that show was able, I mean, it had that Shakespearean element to it where they wanted the whole end in bloodshed, which is why I read romance novels.
Right.
Because, you know, the love of his life, Tara, was shot in the head or killed and stabbed and stuff. So this is why
that scene, I mean, total tangent, but my God, that scene, like that show went off the deep end. I'm like, holy crap.
This is why romance novels, we have happily ever after guaranteed, whereas there was no happily ever after on that show. Spoiler.
Spoiler alert, no one ends up happy.
Nobody ends up happy. Literally nobody ends up happy on that show.
Nobody.
They ended it with a Shakespeare quote, and I'm going, this has never been more appropriate to reference Shakespeare.
Right. Tragedy. This is a tragedy.
Which is why this is so appealing.
I know. That's why this is why people read the romance genre, because they want their happily ever after. They want that security that yes, the characters have their conflict, like, you know, Jax and Maddie, they had plenty of conflict, but you have that security where you know that they're going to overcome it and they're going to get their happily ever after. And that is just the appeal of the romance genre, because there are certain times where you just want, you know, you just want this meet cute, you just want a swoon-worthy hero, a witty, hilarious heroine, and you want their happily ever after, and you just want to have fun along the way. And this book, like, delivers.
I was going to say, and then you get one-liners like this that make my heart completely melt. Whatever you want, he said, his voice low and raw, except for letting you go. I'm not letting you go.
Yes!
You don't get one-liners like this anywhere else.
You don't. Some of the one-liners in this book, I tell you. I mean, I definitely have the quotes that I posted on Twitter, but then, you know, the one quote that the whole, like, his fingers were walking up her arm is like, so, you know, it says, she looked away. The whole superpower mind reading thing is getting old. He let his fingers do the walking up her arm, over her throat, giving her plenty of advance warning before he cupped her jaw. Just as slowly, he brushed her long side bangs away from her right eye. That is just, I loved it. Swoon. Swoon. Seriously. This.
Well, it's so funny. So this book, obviously, you know, they end up declaring their love. And this is, I don't mean this to be like a spoiler, but again, I went and added all the other books in the series to my to-be read list. Not kidding. I went and did that. And so in the summary, the book blurb for the third one is, it's Chloe's book. And it says when she's attending their wedding. And I'm going, yes, they're married. I was so excited. So, I mean, I almost feel as if I need to keep reading the series just to make sure that I follow Jax and Maddie along, which sounds a little stalkery, but I do want to see how their happily ever after turns out. But I'm really happy to see it, like, progress, and it goes, you know, happily ever after I love you, happily ever after marriage, happily ever after children, probably. So you get to see their whole lives play out, hopefully.
That's what I love about, like, these, like, romance series where, yes, each book is centered on a different couple, but you also see your already established couples and how they're doing in their happily ever after. I love that.
Oh no, now I want to go read Chloe's book just so I can, you know, read their wedding.
Yes.
What did she dress? What was the dress? What was the cake? I want the details.
I know. I need the details.
And you know, Jill Shaw, you know, you know, you're gonna get them.
Mm-hmm.
If she can tell me the flavor of the potato chip she's eating, I can know the flavor of the cake. The same.
Yes. Blueberry wheat pancakes. Now I want pancakes.
I know, we got very specific. Well, I did remember, because we were talking about this before. I haven't eaten it, but the pumpkin scone.
Yes. Oh my gosh. As soon as we had that live stream, and the next day, a Starbucks opened near my work, and I'm like, pumpkin spice latte, pumpkin scone.
You got the scone?
Yes, it was delicious.
The frosting is everything and more, isn't it?
It's so good. It was so good.
I know, it's been sitting there, but I'm just having the best time. Like, I might make this my breakfast tomorrow, but I love the pumpkin scones. Total side note, tangent digression. Pumpkin scone latte. This pumpkin scones, pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks. Can't go.
Delicious.
Amazing.
I even put on my Instagram story that I was buying that pumpkin porter because you tagged me in what I was currently doing. And I was like, I was at Total Wine getting pumpkin porter because I am that girl that wants pumpkin everything.
Well, I mean, I think mine was a little less glamorous. I just reorganized my pencil case, and it was a rainbow roll, like fangirl one. And I was going, I just reorganized my pencil case, and then you're getting pumpkin. I'm like the pumpkin like spice there. I'm like, I want to go get pumpkin to like her. I was like, she's much more cool. She's cooler than I am.
I was like, yes, pumpkin. Her pumpkin is so good.
That was so cute. See again, like I'm just always tagging her and everything. It's so funny. Every time there's a challenge, I'm like, and a technical.
And I'm the same way with Angela. It's like every time someone tags me to do something, I was like, and I'm tagging Angela, whether on Twitter, on Instagram.
Does not matter the platform. I'm still learning Boxer though. I need to go check that.
Oh yes, we haven't started a new Sandra Brown buddy read, so you're good on that.
She's teaching me her social media ways. I know. I have Tailspin and I haven't read it yet. I have it downloaded on my Kindle. I was like, I know there. I think you guys already read that one though.
Yes, yeah, we read it as soon as it came out. But you know, I really, what I recommend is if you start your Sandra Brown journey, I want you to read Chill Factor. That's the book I want you to start with.
I read that like a long, long time ago, but I don't even remember it.
You should reread it.
I know. It was okay. So I was gonna get you something, but then I realized it wasn't as. I went to One More Page Books here in Washington D.C. So I had some signed books, and the Sandra Brown one was in the section for signed books, and then I picked it up and it wasn't signed, so I'm gonna put it there by accident, and I got really upset because I was gonna get you to sign the Sandra Brown book.
Oh my gosh, my life would have been made.
Someone had put it in the wrong section because they had I don't know if it's from previous events or writers. I got the V.E. Schwab New Vengeful, and it came signed, so I was able to get that at their bookstore. But I saw the Sandra Brown book in their science section, and I was going to get it for you. And then I went to go see where the signature was, and there was no signature. And then I brought it to the friend, and she's like, oh, someone must have just put it there, upon restocking. And I was so sad because I wanted to get you a signed Sandra Brown. I was going to be like, I am going to get you the best Christmas present in the world.
I know, I would have died. I would have died, seriously.
I didn't even know which one it was. I was just going to, it didn't matter. I was like, I'm just going to get her the signed Sandra Brown, but they didn't.
It did not matter which one it was.
I didn't know which book of hers it was. I was just like, I'm just going to get her Sandra Brown. But it was, but alas, I failed.
No, that other person who put the non-signed Sandra Brown, they failed. You had good intentions.
It made me sad because I got so excited, and I thought of you, and I was gonna, I'm gonna have to go on the hunt now.
You're so sweet. April was saying Chill Factor was her first. It was so good. I love that you read that. I love that you read Sandra Brown.
April. Everyone needs to follow April everywhere because April's amazing. We love you.
Yes, I love April so much.
And she's reading T.S. Joyce.
Yes. You bonded over T.S. Joyce. I love that.
I know. Now I'm getting you into Jessica Sims. I'm spreading the paranormal shifter love.
I tell you, that book was so good. I was laughing. Oh.
I'm contagious. I can just, me and my little shifters. I'm telling you, I love that series. And T.S. Joyce, you gotta read T.S. Joyce.
Yeah, you guys, if she says read a book, read it because it's amazing,
Well, that's the thing. I only talk about the books I enjoy. So I focus on the ones I enjoy. I don't talk about the ones I, for whatever reason didn't stick. But that's the thing, I went to the romance panel, and it was so funny because I have certain tropes that I just don't naturally gravitate towards. And there was a writer on the panel. All of the tropes she named as her favorites were the ones I am least likely to pick up. Everyone has their own preferences. So, rather than dwell on the ones you're like, oh, because that's the thing about romance. If you're going to talk, the one you might not like, someone else might love for the exact reason you don't like it. So you're better off focusing on the things you enjoy and just moving on from there. I mean, It was funny, though, because she's naming all the tropes I just don't resonate with. But she's got the biggest smile on her face, and she's naming all the books she loves with those tropes. And it was, it was almost contagious to me, even though those aren't my tropes. But she was just so happy talking about them. I was like, maybe I should give this one a try. We don't know. We'll see.
It might change your mind. But yeah, just, when it's just, a light that you see in someone when they're talking about a book that they love. And I just love that, it's like with Angela, when she's gushing about just books that, she loves. And I'm just like, I could sit and listen to Angela talk about a romance book all day long because honestly, there's just this light that comes out of you, and it makes me smile. Just like I don't even have to be engaging in the conversation. She's just talking. If I'm watching one of her videos and she's just talking about the book, I'm just like, I have a smile on my face the whole time. It's just because she has this light that is just, I love it.
Yeah, I'm getting all emotional right now.
She's my best friend. Don't cry.
You're so sweet. I mean, that's what I mean. I try, YouTube is my positive outlet. I talk, the videos you make. I want to talk about books I enjoy. And, you just did your Infinity Challenge. And, I mean, everyone needs to subscribe to you. I know this is my channel, but everyone needs to go to your channel and subscribe because you're amazing. I love you. I mean, you do the same thing too. When you enjoy a book, you just get all excited and you have to smile. I mean, when you love a book, you love a book. You just want to talk about them. You just want to share that bookish love.
Yeah, you just want to get everyone on the train, but read it. It made me feel the things. I want you to feel the things. Let's feel the things together.
That is such a great summary.
It's all feel the things. Lady Gizmo, you are adorable too. Thank you so much. She said, you guys are so cute.
I know, it goes making me cry over here. I'm like, of course, when I'm wearing eye makeup and stuff, I'm gonna get all, weepy. You're making me emotional.
Tears of laughter, tears of joy. I love you so much.
Oh my God, you're just the best.
But any other comments about this book? What did you like the most about it? Anything that you want to talk about? I mean, I do have some quotes here that I've tweeted most of them, but I do have some quotes that, really resonated with me that I want to just discuss. But if anybody wants to comment anything, please do so in the comments. And April's saying that's why I was tweeting Angela so much about T.S. Joyce. I was like, these are so good.
Okay, you can tweet me as much as you want. April is so adorable. She tweeted me. She's going, I'm sorry, I keep tweeting you, messaging you. I'm like, you're talking about T.S. Joyce. Message me all you want.
Yeah.
Message me every hour on the hour. I love talking. I mean, again, people use social media for all sorts of stuff. Like, this is my positive outlet. I've said that before. I'll say it again. Like, I talk about books. I talk about books that I love. Like, I get so excited when I'm, on Twitter, Instagram, or on YouTube because this is what makes me happy. I love talking about romance. I mean, and I love talking about T.S. Joyce. Like, if you want to tweet me about T.S. Joyce, you tweet me T.S. Joyce. I want to know about Damon's Mountains. Like, you got to keep me like up to date with your journey. Yeah, she just published her latest book, and she revisited Damon's Mountains with the daughters. And so it was so funny. I actually saw a parallel in this book because in the latest one, why am I blanking on her name? Beck is the name of the next one. So the heroine was in a relationship and the guy wasn't the best to her and she was changing to suit him. And so I just read that book and then I picked up this one. I'm going, oh, there's a crossover in that, the heroine and their background story. I mean, kind of similar. You have the moments of levity, but they're tied in, and they're grounded in a much more difficult way and realism. So read T.S. Joyce. You'll love her. You won't. If you like one book, you'll like the rest of them because, it's not formulaic, but she has the same type of characteristics and mannerisms. So if you like one, you like the rest. And you better keep tweeting me about your journey with her because I want all the information. So please keep tweeting. Please. If you don't, I will follow up with you.
If you're tweeting us about any kind of romance book, don't apologize. We love talking about it. So.
Oh, I get so excited. I think the nicest thing this is true. The nicest thing I think you can say to a booktuber or book blogger is, I read a book because of you and I loved it. And
yes.
You want to cry. It made me so happy. I think when April first said she started reading and she loved the book, I was so emotional. She likes this because I told her about it. I mean, there's something so sweet about that, being able to share your love of something. It just makes me so happy. And I want her to keep reading T.S. Joyce. And you better pick her up one day, one of these days. And then
I will.
But you're going to fall in the hole because then you're going to want to read the next one and the next one and the next one.
I know, so many. There's like so many books. I'm just like, oh.
Like,
but yes,
I'm going to read these ones first.
I know. Like, my husband just found out how many unread physical books that I own, and he about had a heart attack. And I was like, I'm trying. I'm reading them.
See this, but at least hers are ebooks for the most part, so you can hide those.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know what's going on the Amazon account.
Nope, he doesn't. He doesn't need to know that.
Ignorance is bliss.
Exactly. Ignorance is bliss. Yes.
I do want to know your quotes, though. I do want to know your quotes from this because it's so nice that I'm happy we both enjoyed this book.
I find like we've enjoyed all of these books except for like the third book, The Air He Breathes. It was kind of like a meh book for us, but like every other book we're like, yes, I loved it. I
think that one was like a 3-star.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad. I mean, it was a mystery book where like we did not get into it, but like there was one I did not enjoy at all. So, like I have not been able to say that. I've had like the best time with these books. But even that one, like there were some really great one-liners. The little girl was so cute. Like, I love talking about books. I love talking about you. I love my romance genre. It's just all good.
It's all fantastic. It's all good.
It's
all good over here on Tuesday nights.
But even then, like we both have very similar tastes. So even though, we're both going, oh, well, this part I liked, this part of that book I didn't like, it wasn't an awkward situation where like I loved it and you're breaking my heart, or vice versa. We were both on the same page, which was also nice.
Yeah, like Angela and I have found that our tastes in books are eerily similar. Like, it's almost scary. That's why we joke all the time that we are like one person, or we have one brain, because honestly, if she has read a book and then I read it, and we like, because we direct message each other on Twitter like all the time, and you're like, how did you like this book? And I'm like, oh, it was terrible. And you're like, I know. So it's or you were just like, I loved it. I'm like, me too. And so it's seriously like everything. If I'm hearing her talk about a book that I've read and she's hitting all these points that she loved, I'm like, yes, yep. I'll be over here nodding. I'm like, yes to everything you just said.
When you're talking about the book, I was like, yeah, that's why I love this one too. It's just and it's not scripted. All unscripted.
It is. This is live. You can't make this stuff up. I mean, seriously.
Post-it note over here to prove it. He's all that in a bag of salt and vinegar chips. I am keeping this. This is
like the best quote of the night. Thank you.
That needs to be sweet, like sweatshirt, tweet, something. We got to do something.
So I have my quotes. I think I've tweeted all of these. So, but most of these are the little blurbs on in the front of the chapter from Mama Phoebe, saying the first. I just opened this book and I read the first one, and the first chapter says, I chose the path less traveled, but only because I was lost. Carry a map. I'm like, gems. These are pearls of wisdom. Carry a map.
There was one quote. There's a quote that I loved, but I wasn't going to say it because it wasn't entirely appropriate. But there was a quote about flowers and men and looking out for figure it out. Yes. And like I clicked on it in my Kindle, and it said 114 other people had highlighted that quote too. Everyone loved that one quote, but I mean, it was another Mama Phoebe moment.
Yeah, Mama Phoebe had some pearls of wisdom here, and I love them. I love this one. A glass of wine is always the solution, even if you aren't sure the problem. So true. There's very few things that a glass of wine cannot fix. But I love that. Just when you think you've hit rock bottom, someone will hand you a shovel.
That was my
this was one of those quotes where, yes, it's funny, but hit me so hard. I'm like, man, that is so true. We've all been there. You know, life happens where you think, you know, your day or your week, whatever, can't get any worse. And then something happens, you know, and it's just one of those things where you feel like you can't go any farther down, but then someone just comes over and hands you a shovel. And just that quote just hit me. I'm like, yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
I retweeted that. I saw that quote on Goodreads before I read the book, and I think I tweeted that like a week or two ago, and I put the girl digging. You know, I found a GIF, and I was just
yes,
because that was one of those quotes. I'm going, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You're hitting the nail right on the head here. I mean, I love Jill.
And then another one that I have. Okay, these are actually quotes from the book. I mean, they're all quotes from the book, but quotes from the sisters here. So you have chocolates? Chloe asked, hopefully, for emergencies. Of course, side pocket next to the fork. Like, you carry a fork in your purse? Like, I was dying. I
highlighted that too. I highlighted that exact same sentence. And it was so funny because I actually really related to her because I'm sounding insane right now. I used to, because I would be on campus and stuff, I used to keep like the utensils in a Ziploc bag and stuff because, you know, if you're on campus or whatever. And so I just related to her so hard. That's something like someone on the go might do. And I was going, this is why I love Jill. I love that scene. So I loved that little scene, that little line within the scene so much because it was one of those, they didn't talk about that, but if your eye caught it and you lingered, you're going, what? Wait a second, what? The fork?
You have a fork?
But I related to that because I've had those moments where I would actually have said something very similar.
So funny. Like, of course, I have chocolates. It's right next to the fork. Gosh.
Oh my gosh. The Mary Poppins purses where you can just like pull everything out of them.
You just have everything, like, for, like, emergencies. Oh, good night, Trish.
Oh, thank you for stopping by and saying hi. We love you.
Thank you. Bye. So the next one I have here says, Maddie stared up at Jax, who was not hungover and didn't have a crease on his face. The crease was from what she laid on under the tree, is like the crease from the pillow. And he looked big and bad and so sexy it should have been a crime. And she reacted without thinking. She shut the door in his face. Oh, and he just thought, I love this because I wish part of this scene could have been from his perspective, because we did get a little tidbit after this scene where it is from his perspective, and he just thought like she was so cute. I'm like, yes, oh my gosh, even though she's hungover, her hair is a rat's nest. She, you know, like she said, she has the crease on her face from her pillow, and she probably thinks she looks terrible, and he is just loving how adorable she is. I'm like, you are so perfect. My goodness.
He liked, so this is why I think I adored him. He liked her and pursued her for all the right reasons.
Yes.
I mean, you know, there was a movie on in the background. It was one of those like makeover movies, and he likes her just as she is. He's not trying to change her, and that was something she'd been dealing with because of the ex. And he's not, you know, the very first night they go out, I think she said she was in her sweatshirt. I mean, she you know, her hair, no makeup, hair, you know, hair down, you know, wild and free, and she wasn't putting on a, you know, a show for him, a facade. You know, he just liked her for how she was, and I'm going, my heart.
Absolutely. Like there was multiple points in the book where she was comparing herself to what her sisters were wearing. And because she always chose like the jeans, the baggy sweatshirt, you know, the comfortable shoes. And like she never really dressed up at all, like to like either impress somebody, or when she, you know, when she went out, she just dressed for being comfortable. And the fact that, you know, he just loved her, you know, for her, like Angela said, it was just so cute.
Well, I mean, I think it was also super relatable because, you know, if you're traveling and you're dealing with family stuff, you're not going to be, you know, hair perfect, makeup, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Renovating a house. I mean, no one has their makeup perfect and wearing designer clothes and high heels when you're renovating a house or when you're painting. It's just not realistic, you know? So I love that. I loved it. It was real. It was like, it was very real.
it was so funny too, because there was one day when I think she said, you know, I've been working, I'm all sweaty and I'm tired. And I look like I'm, you know, she had stuff. I think she had, what was it? It wasn't paint, but she had something on her clothes. I forget what it was. But you know, it was all good because that was her, and he was there helping out. You know, he said something about, well, I'm not dressed up either. What do you think I've been doing?
Right.
I mean, I appreciated that. You know, people are saying, oh, they want realism and stuff. I mean, to me, that was realism. I mean, you're not going to be dressed up going, you know, they're doing home renovations. And so if you were to, you know, go be dressed to the nines, I'd be a little bit more curious.
Like, what are you doing? How are you able to do this in high heels?
But he loved her for her, and he loved her for her. He loved her when she was in her sweatpants.
Yes. Another quote I have is just, it says, a hand caressed down her back as if to soothe as well as entice, claiming another piece of her heart in the process. Sneaky bastard. I was just dying laughing. I'm like, yes. Oh, I just love like her like internal like monologues, and her thought process is just, she was so funny. She was so funny without even trying to be, you know. And there's another scene where she was just angry and she wanted to do something like physical, and he brought her over to the wood stack and had her like, you should chop some wood, and she's like, you should show me how it's done. And then so he was chopping wood, and she was like, you look a little heated, you should like take off your shirt. And so he does, like he like, and you know, he does, obviously, because you know we're getting into their relationship now. And I remember Tara comes out with like tea, and she's like, Lord have mercy. She sits down. I was dying laughing.
Well, I love them. So the very first night they met, they made out in the car, and so he wanted to walk her to the door, which again, soon. But she said, no, I don't want my sisters to see you. I don't want to raise any, alarm or whatever. She didn't want them asking questions. And so she opened the door. And so she's smiling, she's happy. And they, she says, I was with a guy named Jax. And they're like, I want Jax. And she's going, did you meet him? No, but any guy who can make you smile like that, I want one.
Like, I want a Jax.
I want a Jax too. The way that was so cute, though. The way she was.
Yes. Oh, I have a Joe.
I mean, Jax Joe. It works. As long as he doesn't know about the To Be Read list. As long as he doesn't know about that.
Nope. He's so funny. He likes to, he does get annoyed with my, with my reading sometimes, but he indulges. He's one of those, he's my hero that indulges my little quirks.
Aw, see, he is your Jax.
He is my Jax. That's why I was like, I have a Joe. Everyone needs a Joe.
He made another car. I bet he would wear it.
He better wear it.
And if you you can intersperse crazy coloring that only your beloved will understand and appreciate.
Right. I prefer, like, his favorite color is red, so I'm pretty sure if I knitted him like a red scarf, he would totally wear it.
Oh, that's it. Were those all your quotes?
Those were all my quotes.
I have one more.
Do you have any quotes?
I have one more because I think I shared it already. So this is the one, Still My Heart. I fit, she whispered in marvel, stepping into him. I fit with you. He nodded and wrapped his arms around her perfectly.
Oh, yes.
Oh, the romance novel love. So great.
So perfect. So sweet. At the bay, like when I was reading that, like finishing the book, I had like the biggest grin on my face, like my cheeks hurt. I was like, you're so sweet. You're so cute.
It was just like a feel-good book.
It was. It gave you the warm and fuzzies. It made you feel good. It made you laugh and smile. And
I think we need that. I think the world needs that. It was so, I mean, again, like, if you don't want to go political, but I was like, okay, if you guys are having a bad week, read this book.
Yes, if you're having a bad week, read this book.
If you're having a bad day, a bad moment, read this book.
It'll make you feel better.
It will. Yeah, it's like, I guarantee it will.
So, did we want to talk about the books we're going to pick?
Did you choose a second book?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
I thought you only had the one.
I didn't, but I just turned around. I'm like, yes.
So the reason this is happening, so just a little backtrack. So before the live stream started, she only had one book that she had in mind because she's a Lisa Kleypas lover and she's going to pitch one book super, super hard and she was going to go for it. But I guess she has changed her mind and I'm in awe.
I've changed my mind. And because I realized, like, about to get on the Google Hangouts because, Angela sent me the link and I was gonna, join on. And then I'm just like, oh man, I haven't picked any books to suggest for next month. So this is a book that was suggested last month, but it is one of my favorite books of all time. So I really feel like it deserves another shot. And it is a Lisa Kleypas book, and it's my favorite Lisa Kleypas book. Honestly, it's probably my favorite historical romance, and that is Stranger in My Arms by Lisa Kleypas.
Wow. That was, talk about pitching a book. It is my favorite Lisa Kleypas above The Devil in Winter. So automatically you're going, okay, we're taking this seriously. Now it's your favorite historical. I mean, you just upped that ante right there.
It was also my first historical romance read, which probably is why it holds like a special place in my heart, because this was my first book into the historical romance subgenre, my first Lisa Kleypas book, and it was just, I loved it so much, and it's time for a reread. And so it was suggested last month by the wonderful Angela.
I was like, this is my book pick last month.
I'm just like, I really want everyone to feel the feels that I felt when I read this. So I'm just going to, suggest it again. And if we have forgotten what it was about, let me read the synopsis for you. So, Lady Hawksworth, your husband is not dead. With these words, Laura's life is turned upside down. Her unhappy, loveless marriage has ended when the Earl of Hawksworth was lost at sea. But now a man stands before her, virile and powerful, who says he is her missing husband, revealing secrets that only he would know. While this dark-eyed stranger closely resembles the Earl, he is as attentive and loving as Hunter was cruel and cold, promising to make Laura his wife once again in every way. With every beat of her heart, she aches to believe that this remarkable man who he claims to be, but he is truly the rake returned and reformed, or is Laura being seduced by a cunning imposter? Dun dun dun.
Can you like be a stage actress auditioning for something with that voice?
Yes.
That was amazing.
Felt like, yes. It needed a second chance. So, I mean, if it's not, picked this month, I won't hold it against anyone. But
do a special live stream just talking about that book if you want. We can make that our 4th Tuesday one a month.
Oh, yes. That would be nice.
To read your favorite historical, your favorite Lisa Kleypas. I'd be willing to do that for you.
I love you so much.
Well, it's so funny to me because originally when we started this book club, we were gonna choose books that we hadn't read, and so I just think it's so great. You're like, I love this book so much, I need to reread it. You're like, I'm gonna put it.
Like to reread it. Yes.
So
this is like these books, like yes, you've read the book, but then when you reread books, I always find I pick up more stuff when I reread books. We should
do that one night. We should make one of our polls just be books that we've read that we would love to reread. We should do that.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I love that.
We could do like our Throwback Thursday of hey, we're gonna go from something. Something just happened.
that is our 4th Tuesday. Throwback Tuesday. Like it's happening. It's happening. Yes.
I just the camera was still on me, and then all of a sudden there was something going on over there. And I was going.
I was like, oh my gosh, you are a genius.
It was a light bulb that just kind of went like right on. It was one of those animated moments that was going on over there.
Because we have been, we've been thinking like we need a topic for our 4th Tuesday. We're just gonna take over Tuesdays. Every Tuesday, we're going to have something to talk about. And, we have our, today, your first Tuesday of the month is we talk about the book for, Romantics at Heart. Tuesday was, who picked this movie.
Tuesday, Stardust. Don't forget.
Stardust. I'm so happy that one. I love Stardust so much. But, then our 3rd Tuesday is the we're picking, romances. And then, we've been saying, what should we do for a 4th Tuesday? We can do that Throwback Tuesday. Just saying, it's a great idea. I love it.
I mean, I was going to say, we can always hash out the details if y'all have any comments about, whether it's like we want to talk about books that we've already read. I mean, there are a lot of them.
Yeah, there are a lot of them.
I mean, we can figure out the specifics of like if we want people to reread, if we just want to, gush about things that, have been current reads or, I don't know how we want to work it, but I am open.
Nice.
You just made me think of that though, because there are certain books. I know I've recommended some of them too, where I'm going, oh, this book just stole my heart and I loved it and you get all the emotions and I get really emotional talking about some of them. I mean, I think it would be great to have a poll or do one of our, months, whether maybe like January or December or something. It's going, hey, we're closing out the year. We're going to choose some books that we, for reread or something.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun too. Yes. What do you guys think? Comment.
I think you just put my pick to shame over here. I was going because I chose 2 books I have not read. I have 2 books I have not read. I have read the authors before, so I do feel some some level of comfort knowing that they're all. So a Rogue by Any Other Name by Sarah McLean, and I love Sarah McLean. Follow her on Twitter; she is amazing. So I asked before, so you have not read this one. It just caught my attention because I had been reading some Sarah McLean. And so this was one I had not read. Do you know a good what?
It says Sears, but maybe series? Haley, are you saying series? Do we know a good series?
Well, this is the start of a series, so we might have an answer for that if this wins.
Today's book choice is a series too. If you're looking for contemporary, the Lucky Harbor series is really good. What genre are you looking for? Contemporary, historical, paranormal? Let us know, Haley.
I was gonna say one of the types that I know there's like a weird lag between when we talk and when things go. So I'll
yeah,
summary as she types.
I think this is the first time I'm seeing you in the chat. So hi, how are you?
Welcome to What a Scoundrel Wants, a Scoundrel Gets, which caught my attention.
Yes.
The Marquis of Bourne, I'm just going to say Bourne because it looks like Jason Bourne to me, was cast in society with nothing but his title. Now a partner in London's most exclusive gambling hell, the cold, ruthless Bourne will do whatever it takes to regain his inheritance, including marrying perfect proper lady Penelope Marbury. At least that's how I'm going to pronounce her last name. A broken engagement and years of disappointing courtships have left Penelope with little interest in a quiet, comfortable marriage and a longing for something more. How lucky that her new husband has access to such unexplored pleasures. Bourne may be a prince of London's underworld, but he vows to keep Penelope untouched by its wickedness. A challenge indeed as the lady discovers her own desires and her willingness to wager anything for them, even her own heart. It was so when I was reading the Goodreads reviews, so basically these two knew each other before, and he put all his money on this gambling. He made a bet, he lost. And so now he forces her into a marriage of convenience. He kind of scandalizes her reputation. So she's forced to marry him. He wants her dowry. And now that he has her, he doesn't know what to do with her. So 11 folds, apparently. So I was intrigued.
Yes, absolutely. Scoundrel, rake.
I know, we're going historical. I thought I was gonna throw something unique in there, and then you're going, I have this historical, so I was not doing anything unique.
I'm sorry, I still hear thunder.
No, you're fine. You can steal anything of mine that you want. I trust you.
I love you so much. Haley is saying, young adults are my fave, but anything is good.
Ooh, young adult romance series.
Young adult series.
I mean, my first thought, I don't know if you've read them already, but we have Anna and the French Kiss. I mean, technically they can be read as standalone. So you have Anna and the French Kiss, Lola and the Boy Next Door, and then Isla and the Happily Ever After. So those would be my go-to young adult series. But I also, I love my paranormals and my shifters. So I also love the Shiver, Linger Forever by Maggie Steve Otter. As I look up in my bookcase, I'm like, they're there.
Yes.
So those are both young adults, and those, those are hardcore romances. So if you like romance, like young adults, those immediately came to mind.
That's awesome. I second that.
You're looking at your bookcase like,
I know, I'm like, because this is my young adult shelf here. So mostly what I have for young adult is like the fantasy stuff that I don't really, and my books are like double stacked, so yeah. But yeah,
a lot of standalones that are jumping out at me on my bookcase, but not a lot of like young adult romance series, because that's the whole series narrative, or romance narrative versus romance genre, which is why I was
right.
Perkins, because everyone has the standalone element, but the characters carry over if you want them. So that would be my gut reaction. So if you already read her, you're gonna have to tell me if you like her. But if you haven't, read Stephanie Perkins. She's amazing, and I love her. What is your second book choice?
My second book choice is The Next Always by Nora Roberts. And this is book one of the In Boonesboro trilogy. And so let me get to the synopsis here. Of course, it's Nora Roberts. She's, the romance goddess. She's the queen. But
I mean, my favorite is it's called the Nora Roberts Lifetime Achievement Award. If your name is the Achievement Award, that's saying something.
Yeah, that seriously. If you have an award named after you, I mean, come on.
You are the award.
But so the historic hotel in Boonesboro has endured war and peace, the changing of hands, and even rumored hauntings. Now it's getting a major facelift from the Montgomery brothers and their eccentric mother. As the architect of the family, Beckett has little time for his social life, but there's another project he's got his eye on, a girl he's been waiting to kiss since he was 16. After losing her husband and returning to her hometown, Claire Brewster soon settles into her life as the mother of 3 young sons while running the town's bookstore. Though busy, Claire is drawn across the street by Beckett's transformation of the old inn, wanting to take a closer look at both the building and the man behind it. With the grand opening inching closer, Beckett is happy to give Claire a private tour. It's no first date, but these stolen moments are the beginning of something that could arouse the secret yearning that resides in Claire's independent heart and open the door to the extraordinary adventure of what comes next.
I was gonna say you can't go wrong with the Nora Roberts.
This has been on my TBR. I mean, it's for a very long time, so it's, you know, I love Nora Roberts. She's fantastic. I was like, oh, new comments. They're from you. Oh, the Meteor, Meg Cabot. Yes. The Ghost and the Goth is another YA romance. Yes.
I know. I kind of was looking over at my bookcase going, what else are there? You know, what else can I recommend? That's a, you know, young adult romance series. Because that's a good question, because you have to adhere to the romance genre standards, happily ever after. But if you want a series, you're going to have the characters carry over. So that's a good,
yes.
That could be a live stream discussion right there. Young adult romance or just romance series or something.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it.
I know my Nora Roberts are all split into different sections because I did them by color, so it's not by author anymore. So I was looking for my Nora Roberts books. That's not one of them though. I've read quite a few. I've read quite a few of her books, you know. But even then, when you say you've read 20 Nora Roberts and she's written 200, yeah.
You still got some reading to do.
20 something, I think, like 20 something of her books, and she's at 250, probably closer to 300 now. So I still got a ways to go.
Yeah. What is your next pick?
So I've recommended The Wall of Winnipeg and Me quite a few times. I made Bree read this. I was telling people to read this book. I really enjoyed The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. The book, it was a slow burn. I was going to make that one of my recommendations. Spoiler alert for our slow burn romance live stream discussion. Not next Tuesday, but the following week. That was going to be my #1 pick for slow burn romance. I really liked The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. And so the same author, Mariana Zapata, and I believe that is how you say her name. I could be wrong. So I apologize, Mariana. But she has another book called Wait for It. And when I thought I had read I thought I had read all but 2 of her books. I was wrong. I don't know why I thought I had convinced myself I had read her books. I had convinced myself, I purchased them, so then they were on my to-be-read list, and I had somehow convinced myself. But no, I have not read this book yet. And then I saw it said, Wait for It, and I love that song from Hamilton, so I saw the title, I'm going, this was meant to be. So this is my next book pick, Wait for It by Mariana Zapata. So essentially, I'm just going to read the summary. So if anyone ever said being an adult was easy, they hadn't been one long enough. Diana Casillas, I'm just going to go with Casillas, can admit it. She doesn't know what the hell she's doing half the time. How she's made it through the last 2 years of her life without killing anyone is no short of a miracle. Being a grown-up wasn't supposed to be so hard. With a new house, 2 little boys she inherited the most painful way possible, a giant dog, a job she usually loves, more than enough family and friends, she has almost everything she could ever ask for, except a boyfriend or a husband. But who needs either one of those? So she basically has one of those baby boom experiences, raising Helen, where her brother, I believe it's her brother, passes away, because I read a couple of the Goodreads reviews. Not too many because I didn't want to be spoiled. I was very aware of this. So basically she inherits her 2 nephews, and so she's now their legal guardian. And so the next door neighbor is apparently a sexy little athlete of some sort. And I don't know what he does, but he has like fangirls and stuff. So he's very wary of women because he's always thinking they want him because he's an athlete of some sort. So he has all the, they're throwing themselves like, no, I don't want you because you want me for all the wrong reasons. And so this is another slow burn romance. And this is a 600-page slow burn romance. So yeah, this is a 600-something page book. And I'm going, this one is a 300-page book. So we're talking, this is a hefty romance novel.
Yes.
So I believe it's independently published as well. It has a 4.23 star rating on Goodreads, so high reviews.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah, people seem to really like this book for the most part, and I really enjoyed The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, so I was making this my second book pick.
Sounds amazing. It sounds really good. And yeah, usually it's a little bit lengthier than your typical romance, but that's awesome.
I think this is my own personal opinion. I think she gets away with making them a little bit longer because they're independently published, whereas if you were trying to adhere to the regular romance genre standards, that is way too long of a romance novel for the publishers to, put in print. I mean, if you want to make it an ebook and keep it exclusive ebook, I mean, she does have print copies, but if that's how you're starting, it makes more sense. But again, 600 pages, I am curious because that is a slow burn.
It's a slow burn.
Ultimate slow burn. If you have a slow burn 600-page romance novel, I mean, part of me wants to read this just to see how she's doing that.
Right, exactly. How do you keep it interesting when still, because for me, reading slow burn, there's some, I mean, I do love a good slow burn, but then sometimes I'm just like, get together already. So it's like, it's really interesting how, if she can pull that off in a 600-page book.
Well, even then, for the most part, slow burns are going to adhere to the usual, 300 pages.
Yeah.
So your slow burn is only going to burn so long, whereas this one's going to keep going. So, I mean, I am like really curious to see how that plays out. I mean, at least with like a slow burn, usually your slow burn ends around, there. This time it's going to be, that's going to be, this alone is going to be the introduction.
Right. An introduction.
My interest is piqued. So if you guys want to read 600 pages and then talk about them, vote for this.
You got a month. Got a month. Easy.
Exactly. Like that's why I didn't actually feel badly picking this one. Otherwise, I would have chosen something a little bit more, succinct. But yeah, I figured, October, before NaNoWriMo, before everyone has a million things on their plate for the Christmas season and holiday season and everything else. So October.
Yes.
October book. I mean, every week in October, you can be reading some chapters. Do the math. We can break it down and make this work.
Yeah, that's usually, I mean, if it's kind of I've been buddy reading like the Outlander series with another booktuber and one of my girlfriends from my In Real Life book club. And so like to read them in a month, we do the page breakdown. So I feel like that works, especially if you're trying to get through like a chunky book, if you need like, if you're trying to get to it for a deadline, breaking it down is really helpful.
How many books do you have left? Because I know
2. We have this one, and then we're on an Echo in the Bone right now, and then we have Written in My Own Heart's Blood is the last one that's out right now.
Wow, you made progress.
Yeah, we started them in January, and I had read the entire series up to A Breath of Snow and Ashes. So this book and then the next book are new for me. So I'm getting brand new information, but, just rereading the book because I honestly didn't remember a lot of A Breath in Snow and Ashes. So it's nice to reread the books when you're trying to continue the series. And hopefully the next book is going to be coming out soon because I think the last book was published in like 2014, I want to say. So it's been, it's been a while. It takes her about 3. Are you okay?
I don't know. The dog just freaked out.
Oh, no.
Did you hear him?
Okay, Max? Yeah, I heard him.
Did he sound like he was crying?
Yeah.
I don't know what that was. I think I woke him up because I was moving.
Oh, hi, Max.
I think because he was under my chair and I moved. The chair didn't hit him. It did not.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He was probably just startled because you were moved. Yeah.
I moved because I had read April's question. I was gonna show her the book I had in mind, and then the little guy, he's like, "Hey, mommy, I am down here. Do not forget about me."
Don't forget.
He was asleep. That's why he was being good. He was good.
Asleep.
Conscious. He was good because he wasn't awake. No, he's fine. He's fine. I was looking at April's question because the flowers are gonna fall because I've cleaned the book up. So one of the books I was going to recommend or make my choice was My True Love Gave to Me, 12 holiday short story, 12 stories. I figured, I thought that would be a good play with the holiday theme. But she asked, and I was trying to grab the book and then the dog.
Yeah, that could be really cool. Like for a book to read in December, we could definitely choose Christmas romances. I think that would be really cute. Good suggestion, April. I love it.
Wait, no, because I've actually been thinking about this as I come back. This was my other one. So I'm glad you like Jill. I'm glad you like Jill. This was my other book choice for December.
Nice. I love it.
So
There is a Lisa Kleypas book that's Christmas themed as well.
I was gonna say, we know where your heart lies.
But the one I'm thinking of is actually not a historical. It's one of her contemporary series, but hey.
Well, he's now he's awake.
Hi, Max.
I should never leave a chair ever.
Don't move.
There was a book one time where the character, she's like, maybe I should just stay in bed because every time I leave, something bad happens. I was like, yeah. Because every time she left the room, something dramatic just seemed to occur. But yes, so I mean, if there are books that you want for, Christmas read, let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know if there's a Thanksgiving one, maybe too.
Ooh, Thanksgiving.
Or New Year's. I mean, you find
some themed books. We could do themed books. We could do it.
That would actually be a live stream discussion. Almost be like, what do you want to read this Christmas?
Oh, that'd be fun. We can do a special like holiday one for the holidays, like themed night. We're picking Christmas romances for.
I mean, we have totally blew past like every, I totally did the thing I always accuse people of, oh, there's Halloween, there's Thanksgiving. We're going, no, we want Christmas, and we want
Christmas. No, we want Christmas. Yeah, I love that. I love that suggestion. Thank you. Thank you, April.
We love you.
Love you. Anything else that we want to talk about? Ooh, Haley, do you guys go to the library to find new books, or do you look online? I have this like cheat sheet that I have it typed out and I have it saved on my phone of new releases that are coming out for the entire year. Some of them are authors that are established to me and that I love them. So yes, I'm going to buy their books. And some of them they just look good and like they're authors I've never heard of. But usually I either go on Amazon or Barnes & Noble for that because it's easier because they actually have a section for either new releases or coming soon. So it's easy to do that. For the library, I mostly do the digital library to see if there's any books because I listen to audiobooks on my commute to work since I do have a little bit of a drive. But for the library, I'm mostly looking at the digital library with the Overdrive app. And I'm just looking for books that are available now because sometimes with the audiobooks, there's like a little bit of a wait list and you have to put them on hold. But, I do use the library that way.
I was just looking to see what the dog was doing. Now he's awake. He's causing, he's been his little troublemaker self.
I should probably check on my dogs because they're being really quiet. It's like ominous. I'm like, usually I hear them.
Right? As soon as the dogs are, even then, I have a little wild child. A little bit more. So I definitely grab books for a variety of reasons. I don't actually wander around the library so much. I will wander around bookstore aisles. I don't know how much you know about us. So my dissertation is actually on the romance genre readership. And so the last 3 years, I've been systematically reading the major authors in the romance genre, their major influences, books from, historically that were romance genre that were really important. And so I've been reading, I had that checklist that I was going through and systematically reading. So that took up a lot of time. And I was, then I found some books that I really did enjoy, some authors that really stood out to me. So I have been following them. I mean, anytime, Beverly Jenkins does anything, that's an automatic, just add it to the cart. So I know Nicole's checking on her dog, so there's no one else there to have the camera go to them. But yeah, so I mean, I also subscribe to author newsletters and stuff. So T.S. Joyce, who I was talking about before, I love her supernatural or paranormal stories. So I'm on her newsletter. So whenever she publishes a new one, I get an email saying, hey, I published a new book. And then I go buy it automatically. But I also follow other people on Twitter. And so like if Nicole were to recommend something, I will I will go look into that. So yeah, definitely. I don't know what's going on in the comments. I just saw something move. What happened?
Oh, April is saying, like, of course the phone rang as soon as you guys started talking about Christmas. So I'm going to have to rewind this later.
Oh, I mean, we did talk for a few minutes about Christmas. Yeah, I mean, I'll also go on to Goodreads and people recommend stuff on Goodreads. I did an entire book haul video one time where I was just buying books recommended to me from Goodreads. Yeah, I mean, people recommend books. I was reading books for my dissertation. Again, like I follow authors. So there's just a whole way of, you know, I find books all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, like if Angela, if she's read a book and she's talking about it, I immediately go to Goodreads and be like, want to read? Because if she loves it, I'm going to love it because we have the same brain. And
I mean, I also, I've also gone to a lot of romance events. Again, my dissertation is on
Shalvis.
So, I mean, when I went to Politics and Prose, that was actually the first time. This was last year in February. That was the first time I met Mia Sosa. I had not read her books yet, and then I saw her on the panel, and I loved her. She was, you know, very eloquent and thoughtful in her responses, and I actually ended up interviewing her for my dissertation. And so I wanted to read her books because I saw her on the panel, and then I bought them. As you know, she's only published a few of them, but I bought them all. So, I mean, there's a whole different, you know, there are a lot of ways to come across romance novels. I mean, going to events is a great one. It's a great one.
Yeah.
I know. Now I feel badly for April. I'm like, so we should probably time mark that one. So an hour and 35 minutes into the live stream, we talk about Christmas.
Talk about Christmas.
Poor April.
Yeah, you know, it always happens. You know, she works the night shift. You know, we work at the same company, so that's, you know, how April and I know each other. And she works the night shift. I work the day shift, and so she's actually watching this when she's at work, and I love that so much. April saying, same. I make notes of any books you two mention. P.S. Thanks for the heads up about the free Kindle book, Nicole. Oh, yeah, you're welcome.
Aww. See, she's T.S. Joyce. See, now he's barking. I told you, as soon as he was awake, he was going to make noises. I was not exaggerating. See, she learned about T.S. Joyce from us. Perfect example of readers uniting and loving, and Nicole's laughing over there.
Yes, that's, I mean, you know, I love how Angela from our Romantics at Heart page, she does post a lot of things when, you know, books go on sale or when books are free. So she does post, you know, that stuff. So if you're looking for the deals, like Angela does post that stuff. I mean, she is the social media queen. She takes care of us. I love her so much. And like, so I love her to death. But yeah, definitely like recommendations is another great way to get, you know, some good books.
I have a lot of alerts set up, so anything romance relating, like anything that's romance related that happens online, I get a little notification bell going. So I always try and share it if it's, you know, relevant in some way, shape, or form. So we do have a Twitter. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. They update quite often. This Twitter's only been in existence for a little while, and it's already surpassed 2,000 tweets. So clearly, I am a tweeter.
I bow down.
I know. I need to get my hands on the movie one. I need to figure out. I made a couple images for Nicole to use, but I was going to try and figure out if there was a trivia thing I could somehow. I was going to work on this for you.
She makes these like wonderful like graphics and stuff. Any graphics you see, like I make a couple, but Angela's like, she makes such beautiful like pictures. So any pictures you see for the live stream or for, you know, sometimes the movie nights, like she makes all of those, and she's fantastic.
I'm wearing foundations. I don't know if you can see the giant blush that's going on right now.
Now my dogs are barking. See, they were quiet and now they're loud. I couldn't find one of my dogs because he was outside playing in the mud. It's been raining all day today, but so I'm like, so you're going to get a bath later. My husband is probably home. That's probably why they're barking.
Dogs looking at me like I'm barking. I'm barking back at them.
And it's live. It's live. I was like,
he's barking at the door, thinking the dogs are there, not on my computer.
Not on the computer.
Yeah, no, he's mad at me. Like I did something.
Yeah, like, hey, don't you hear that?
We're following you on Twitter. I retweet you.
So excited when two bookish people follow me on Twitter. Welcome me to Romancelandia. I use the hashtag Romancelandia a lot, so I love that.
Hashtag am reading romance.
Hashtag am reading romance. Hashtag Romancelandia. Hashtag best way to spend a Tuesday.
Hashtag romance reader.
Oh.
Gotta love those hashtags. No, you are a proud member of Romancelandia. We need to get you a t-shirt that says I'm a member of Romancelandia. See, the thing is, here's the thing too. It's later where I am, so it's technically almost 10 o'clock and he's barking like this. I'm gonna get a noise complaint if this keeps up.
Oh no!
And you. Come on. Come on. Shush.
They were, I'm pretty proud of them. They were quiet for most of the live stream. Your dog, my dogs.
Yeah, he kind of fell into a coma. I don't know what was going on. But the thing is, now he's awake and he was asleep for a while, so now he's not going to go to sleep again for a little while.
He got a second wind.
I know. You have everything. Max, I love you. Come on, be a good boy. Go play.
Go play.
I grabbed the first toy I see and throw it. That's just being a dog mom. Yes, he ignores me. Anywho, what else was going on? I forget.
Next week we are watching Stardust for the Who Picked This Movie night for the live tweet watch along. Ooh, comments. There's awesome things. I'm not extremely picky about books, but sometimes I can't get into books I picked up. So I usually like reading the description of books before getting them. Yeah, the synopsis can give you a good idea about what is going to happen. And then also what I love about the romance genre, especially on Goodreads, they usually tell, like if you're looking for a specific trope or you're looking to avoid a specific trope, not on Goodreads, I'm sorry, on Amazon, they will, they'll tell you like, you know, this is a guaranteed happily ever after, or this is a slow burn, or this is, you know, something, you know. So if you're looking for a specific trope or genre or something that's gonna, you know, a little like cliche, like in the book or something, Amazon's really good about, you know, telling you that. So
agreed. I know, you caught me. The dog was barking, so you guys got the giant forehead shot. I wear the progressives, so I have to, you know, the top half is for distance, the bottom half is for reading, so you got me like really close to the camera trying to read the comments. No, again, if you want certain tropes, I think you just, same wavelength. I mean, again, there's certain tropes, there's certain type of characters, there's certain situations that sometimes I'm just not in the mood to read. Mm-hmm. And I mean, again, like if you want something fun and hard, you know, like if you want a romantic comedy, this will pop up, and so then I'll be happy. And I will go pick up this book, and I will be content in my little readership heart. But yeah, I do look for tropes, or sometimes I avoid tropes as well. There's some tropes that I'm just not a fan of. And again, I told you there was a panel, and the woman those were her favorite tropes. Nothing wrong with liking certain tropes over others. Read whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
Read to your heart's content. But I hope you know, when you buy books that you do enjoy them. You know, descriptions of books can be misleading. That's the worst.
That's true.
I mean, especially if they say something as a certain type of character or a certain trope, and then it doesn't play out that way.
Mm-hmm.
That's a no-no.
Or they give away something in the plot. Like, no. Spoiler alert.
I know you are. I know. I don't know what's going on.
You just want to make sure you know that he's still there. So, yeah, next Tuesday we are going to be, for the Who Picked This Movie, we're watching Stardust. And that is a live tweet watch along. So if you are going to watch the movie and tweet along with us, use the hashtag Who Picked This Movie. And you can at Romantics at Heart. And also we do have a Twitter page for the Who Picked This Movie. And the next third Tuesday of the month is We're Picking Romances. So we're going to be talking about slow burn romances. We're going to be picking some of our favorite slow burn romance tropes. So very excited about that. And then were we doing something for that fourth Tuesday? Were we talking about that last time?
We were trying to come up with an idea. So, I mean, nothing was established as of yet. Yeah, Stardust is a really great movie. I just saw a fun movie from Lady Gizmo. I love Stardust. I'm excited.
I do too.
I think I voted for that one.
Oh, I love it. Oh gosh, Claire Danes, I tell you, she's fantastic.
Oh, I love Michelle Pfeiffer in that.
Oh yeah. Robert De Niro just steals the movie. I mean, I don't want to give away anything if you haven't seen it. Like, just join us next week. We'll talk about all things.
we'll talk about all the scenes. Just
we will talk about
Tuesday nights. You guys just, you know, we have our little tribe. We have our little group. But no,
we will talk about.
We didn't have anything established for this one. So
no. I thought we were talking about something on our last live stream, but I can't remember because I didn't write it down. I'm a terrible human being.
Well, I wrote down your he's all that in a bag of salt and vinegar potato chips. I love this.
So he's all that in a bag of salt and vinegar chips. That's gonna be a new saying. Guaranteed.
Well, I was gonna say you and me. We need to write a romance novel and make that like the go-to dialogue for something.
The go-to catchphrase.
Just saying, we need to work that in there somehow. We will somehow form an entire story, an entire book, just so we can say this one line of dialogue.
Yes, it's just gonna be around this one quote.
I'm really not kidding.
What was the one where Bree like just pitched us a book where the romantics at heart like owned a book shop?
Yes. So Max, I am always tweeting pictures of my dog, the little guy who you just saw and was making noise for y'all, my little baby. So he was in front of my bookcase and she said, "This looks just like a cozy mystery book cover." And I'm going, "Oh, well, if you want to make it a cozy mystery book cover, go for it. I think, you know, he can be our little model, our inspiration." And so I think she came back and said that would actually be a really great cozy mystery series to have, you know, a dog, you know, have a dog featured. And then I think you tweeted along and said something, "Oh, what if what if there was a romance book club and there was a dog and we were solving a mystery?" And I'm going, we need to write this.
Yes. Like she said, like, the romantics at heart girls, like us, like we owned a bookshop and like had a book club as well. And then
the Bodice, like come to like the Rip Bodice and it was a cozy mystery.
Yes, like we were hosting like an author night and then, you know, someone was dead next to the new like romance release and the dog found the body. And so I was just like, I think we just found our like co-author project.
We've been talking about this. We were joking around like we need to write a book together someday, and I think we found our story idea.
I was like, I think we found our like co-author, you know. I was like, that is awesome. That is like a fantastic plot. Cozy mystery, and we own a bookshop and do our romantics at heart. And I'm like, yes.
One of the cozy mysteries, they kept referencing all the other cozy mysteries, but if you did a cozy mystery where you were talking about a romance genre bookshop, we would have all of the comments. We would be able to name all of the authors. We would have all the book recommendations. It would just be, that would be epic. That would be so much fun to write that.
Fantastic. Lady Gizmo, when we were talking about the alpha heroes trope, I think that was when we were trying to decide for our We're Picking Romance night. I think that was the third Tuesday. I want to go back and rewatch this whole live stream just so we can figure out what we were talking about. But April, the Cozy Mystery Book Club, they meet the last Wednesday of the month. So,
except for this month because it's Halloween. Last one. So it's going to be on my channel on the 24th at 8 p.m. EST. So October 24th, 8 p.m. EST, my YouTube channel. And I am such a bad little YouTuber because I had no idea. I was looking it up on my phone. I was going, I need to look up this date.
Yeah, I did. I noticed that too. And I'm like, oh, I'm wondering if we're having this on Halloween, which, you know, would totally be fine with me. But
I don't have kids. I mean, I live in an apartment building with like a bunch of, you know, undergraduates. There's like 3 kids in my building. And every year I buy candy. Just in the off chance I get a knock. And I've lived here for like 6 years. I've never gotten a knock, but I always buy candy. And I already bought the candy and ate the candy. So now I'm going to go back. So, you know, every year, just in case, I buy candy for the 3 kids that live here. But no, Courtney was mentioning, because again, I'm ahead of y'all time-wise. So for me, it's 8 o'clock at night and everyone's done trick-or-treating. But I guess other people, you know, have younger kids who would they be taking out trick-or-treating during, you know, the 5 o'clock time period. Yes, I know you're down there.
Yes, I know. Here you go.
Yeah, so she was trying to keep that in mind. But yeah, I don't even know what the book choice ended up being. I forget off the top of my head.
A Potion to Die For.
I like how you know that and I don't.
I just know that because it's actually, I picked it for the spookathon that I'm going to be participating in. So that's just the only reason why I remembered.
I'm so glad you knew that, because I was going to have to go look that up on the Twitter. Because it was her month to put books forward.
Yes.
So I wasn't, you know, we take turns alternating, so I had no idea. I forgot.
Yeah,
tell her that. I forgot. I forgot the book, I think, which is why, because usually I have to remember to purchase it, but I had already placed that order, so glad you asked. No,
between the two of them, I am part of the Cozy Mystery Book Club too, so I don't, she's a co-host. She hosts it with Courtney over at Protagonist, but I do, I read cozy mysteries as well, so I am a part of that book club. I'm in the live chat. I'm not on the screen, but so yeah. So it is A Potion to Die For, and you said October 24th. Okay.
We know. Come on.
But I didn't know that part. I thought we were still meeting the last Wednesday, but 24th.
I honestly, because I think at this point, I'm pretty much predominantly reading romance. I think the only cozy mystery books that I've been reading are the ones for that book club. It kind of breaks up the romance reading a little bit, which is kind of, a little nice. It's a little bit, give a little break, but it's usually only that 1 or 2 books, a month for cozy mysteries for me. I really am a diehard romantic.
Yeah.
I'm more of like again, not like an occasional, but I kind of fell into cozy mystery series. So I would end up reading, all 20 of the Joanna Fluke books.
Yeah.
I ended up reading like the series. But yeah, no, good question. I love April. She's keeping us on track.
Thank you. Oh, now my dogs are barking. Hey. Yeah, I mostly read, romance as well. I do read different things. Like for my In Real Life book club, we mostly gravitate towards like either fantasy or like YA. Sometimes we throw like some historical in there, but then also the cozy mystery one as well. Good night, Lady Gizmo.
Max.
Our dogs are just taking turns now barking.
Shush, shush. And I'm like, please be a good boy. No, I mean, I'm basically reading romance.
Yeah, me too.
Reading romance. Yeah, because I don't have an In Real Life book club. I know you do, and I know you've done quite a few buddy reads and stuff. No, I wish I had an In Real Life book club. That'd be kind of nice. I mean, but again,
oh my gosh, if we lived close to each other, we could have an In Real Life book club. Could you imagine, like, if we lived close to each other and we were doing these discussions, like, sitting next to each other?
We'd already written that cozy mystery book. We'd be like, we need to this is what we're doing on Saturday.
I'll have to check it out. I've never read a cozy mystery. Aurora Tea Garden by Charlene Harris.
That's mine. So this is what I mean. You and me, we really do like. So there are a few books for the cozy mystery book club I did not enjoy, but and she was right there with me. She was my little support system.
Yeah. Yeah, when I found out that she was doing the Cozy Mystery Book Club, and I was like, oh, I wonder what cozy mysteries like she's read. And so we were talking, she was talking about the Aurora Tea Garden. I was like, oh man, I love the Aurora Tea Garden series. It's by the same author who wrote the Sookie Stackhouse novels. And so I loved of course, Agatha Christie, and the cozy mystery that we really enjoyed was A High-End Finish by Kate Carlisle. That one was really good too. So if you want somewhere to start on your cozy mystery journey, definitely Aurora Tea Garden by Sherilyn Harris and High-End Finish by Kate Carlisle.
Yeah, we really do have very similar reading tastes. Because the books that I didn't enjoy, I was going, did you read this? What did you think?
Yeah, I'm just like, yay.
Yeah, when I was reading The High-End Finish, I'm like, oh, I liked this one. She's going, I like this one too.
Yeah, I really liked A High-End Finish. It was, and I've meant to read the second one in that series, and I've had it on hold on my digital library for a while, and I was reading something else, and then my loan would expire and I'd have to request it again, and it was always on hold. So it was just a back and forth of just requesting it again and again.
Aw,
I wish
she
I
wants
did.
to join your real life book club. Aw.
I wish you didn't have to work at night too.
Well, there is a romance. Okay, there through Meetup.com, which I know could be a little sketchy, but you do meet up in public places and stuff. There is a romance genre book club, but it's not a book club. It's more of they have a topic and there's not a book. So the last one was dark romances, but there was no dark romance book for them to read. The one before that, the last one, I didn't go to that one. The time before, I can't even remember the last one I went to because they were so sporadic. Because it's around the one woman who created the club, so she gets to choose the date and the time that works for her.
Oh, okay.
It works all so there. Yeah, so very sporadic. The locations you have to sometimes travel to and stuff. And so that's not great when you don't have a car in the city. Like I don't have a car in the city. But they're based on a theme. So it's like our theme nights, and everyone would go to bring their and talk about their own books. So everyone would just always go pitch and talk about their own books, but nobody would have that common denominator, like that common book. Oh. So it's a little bit more difficult. So I did go to a few of those events, but it's not a book club, and I was a little disappointed.
Oh.
And even then, in real life, I probably would shy away a little bit because of new people.
Yeah. Especially when it's, a book club that you found like online and you're, going and you don't know these people.
Exactly. Like there was no, so I was a little, going, okay, we'll see how this goes. Meetup.com's a little, you're kind of a little on edge because it's not the normal way. So I'm a little jealous, and I'm glad that you have that. I think that's great.
Yeah, I started it in, I want to say 2012, I want to say, yeah. So it's been going on for a hot minute.
A long time. I mean, has the same group been together that whole
time? From the original 4 that we first started, it's me and another girl, but then, members have come and gone, but so I'm the common denominator.
I was going to say, you should get your laptop, put me on Skype, put me in an empty chair, and I will virtually be in part of the In Real Life Book Club.
Oh my God, I would love that. I would love that so much. Yeah, we have been meeting every other week, so we've been reading 2 books a month. Wow. But I think the last book club that we had, we made an executive decision after this year is to going to 1 book a month. So yeah, if we totally do that, we do most. I'm gonna Skype you in. I'm also going to, if you have a Facebook, I'm going to put you in our group because we have a group on Facebook that we do. That's where we set up the events and we do most of our.
Really, the one social media platform I don't have. I don't have a Facebook. I never got a Facebook.
I can just message you. It's like, hey, we're reading this book and this is when we're meeting, and I'm going to Skype you in. Okay.
Well, it was so funny because at this point, it's one of those. For the longest time, when Facebook first became a thing, my mother wouldn't let me get one because, again, I was still in high school when Facebook was a thing, first came out. And then it became, now it's a point of pride. I'm going, I've held out this long.
I literally started the Facebook because of my book club. It was just easier for us to have, that way we have the events, and we have, a way to communicate. So that's why I started Facebook. So April, there are book events I want to go to, but I'm too chicken to go alone. April, if you have an event you want to go to, girl, message me and I will go with you.
I was going to say I would offer, but I'm on the other side of the state, United States over here. I would very much go with that. I would go with you. We would be, locked in arms. I would go with you. I'd keep you company.
Apparently. I would so go with you, April.
What? I know. You're down there. Hi. I know, but that's so sweet though. You guys have this connection. I'm jealous. I'm like, oh, so now if there's something in Phoenix, you two can go to and post on Instagram, and I can, but live vicariously.
I'll Skype you into that too.
I'll be on the phone. You'll be walking around with your phone facing outward, and I get to feel like I'm virtually there.
Oh my God, we'll FaceTime. Be like, oh my God, look at it. Any other things y'all want to talk about? I know it's late where you are.
I know, I was doing my little deep breath. I'm like, okay, I want to stay awake. I still want to be my little chipper usual self.
I know for me it's 7 o'clock, here in Phoenix. But it's 3 hours ahead of time for Poor Angela here.
Me in little Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
Oh, she's so sweet.
Happy face. April, are you still at work? It's 7 o'clock, girl. Run. Get out of there. Unless you're on your phone.
Oh my gosh, I'll totally fall and trip over something.
Don't do that.
No, don't.
Yeah, they used to close at 8, but now they got new hours and they close at 7. So I'm like, run. Get out of there.
I know, you're talking about time. You're making me yawn over here. I'm like, oh, I want to wake
up. Sorry. No.
I'm awake. I'm good.
I'm awake.
I know. So I will post that poll on Twitter for
yes.
the book for 4 books that we're choosing from.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll post that. And then we have the biggest movie night next week. And then after that, we have our slow burn romances. Is there anything else we're going to add? I think that was our little summation. She's making little faces over there.
I'm dancing. I'm like, yeah, I think that's good. I am going to rewatch that live stream where we talked about what we're going to do for the 4th Tuesday, because I honestly felt like we did talk about it, but I can't remember, and it's driving me crazy. Yeah, I'm going to head out. Thanks, ladies, for another fabulous Tuesday. Bye. Drive safe. It's still raining. I've been hearing it, all night, so please drive safe.
Thank you for reading this book. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. I love you.
Wow.
Are you still tweeting me your T.S. Joyce journey? I need constant updates. I want to know whose story you're on. And she liked this. She liked the same book I liked. We had the same favorite book in common. So, April's my girl. So I know and she goes, I love them. But I love them too. So she needs to be posted on her reading journey.
I love that. Now I gotta get on the T.S. Joyce train so I can fangirl with you guys.
Well, if you liked Jessica Sims, you'll probably like T.S. Joyce.
I love that book. That was so funny. I mean, there was some heavy stuff, like towards the end, it was getting really heavy where she was abducted, but I was like, man, this book is hilarious. Midnight Leap.
Up until that,
it was funny.
I know, that's another great book. You guys should add that to your to-read list.
Yeah, Midnight Liaison series by Jessica Sims. I just read the first book today. It's all good.
I devoured those books, and I've read the entire series several times now. I think I'm on my 4th reread. So.
I love it. I'm very excited to read the rest. So.
I'm glad. That makes me so happy that you enjoyed it. I'm going, I got to introduce her to this book that she enjoyed. That makes me so happy.
April says, I DM'd you on Instagram, Angela. Yes. All right. So we will post that poll. Please vote. And thank you so much for joining us tonight. Wonderful, wonderful book. Wonderful, wonderful discussion. Wonderful company. Wonderful Angela.
I love you too.
So, seriously, we need to every Tuesday. I want to do this every Tuesday.
Oh my goodness, we could do this every day, I swear. I mean, because I'm always just smiling. I'm always so happy when we end this conversation. I was like, oh, I had the best time ever. I'm always so happy doing these live streams.
Me too. It's just the genre. It's just the genre. I really, honestly.
You're amazing. We have amazing people. Just such a great night.
I love my romance friends. I love you.
I love you too. I love your face.
All right, everyone. Have a wonderful night. We will see you next week.
I know. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm so glad everyone enjoyed the book. And next week's movie night and the following week, we are slow burn talk. We're talking about slow burn romances over Nicole's channel. So she's dancing and making faces.
My channel.
I know. So we have more romance coming your way. So we'll keep you posted. And I'm so excited to talk to y'all again.
Never fear. We got you. We got your romance bases covered. Don't worry.
Have a nice night, everybody. Thank you again.
Bye.